research, wanted to ask about mentorship. Didn't, because he'd have to request one-on-one meetings and he wasn't going to put either of them in that position. Position, he called it. Like meeting with a professor was a dangerous situation to avoid. I tell myself, this is one data set, one colleague's research, probably not representative. Start paying more attention though. Notice that my teaching assistant, female graduate student, gets way more questions during her office hours than I do. Male students line up to ask her things they could ask me. Bring it up to her, trying to sound casual. She hesitates, then admits male students have told her they feel more comfortable asking her questions. When she asks why, they say things like, she seems more approachable, or they don't want to bother me. But she knows it's something else. She can feel it too. Start noticing it everywhere once I'm looking. University implements mandatory mentorship program for junior faculty. Department chair quietly tells me that 3 different early career men requested male mentors specifically. When pressed, they gave vague reasons about similar research interests. But their research interests aligned more closely with mine than with the men they requested. The chair looked tired when he told me this, like he's been managing these invisible tensions for a while. Go to department mixer. Try to network with new male faculty hire. Conversation is polite, professional, brief. He positions himself so we're visible from multiple angles. Doesn't step closer when the room gets loud and we can't hear each other. Maintains this careful distance. I'm not imagining it. This is deliberate. Contrast it with how he talks to my male colleague later. They're relaxed, laughing, standing close. The ease of it, something starts gnawing at me. Decide to do what I always do when I need to understand something. I research. Spend weeks going through studies I normally wouldn't read. Data on young men's social behavior, relationship patterns, workplace anxieties. Numbers are staggering. Men aged 18 to 30 reporting romantic relationships down to historic lows. Surveys showing majority of young men now never approach women in public settings. Workplace studies showing male colleagues increasingly refuse to travel alone with female colleagues, won't meet behind closed doors, always keep third parties present. Rates of young men reporting having no close friends up dramatically. Emotional isolation metrics through the roof. Cross-cultural data showing this pattern across multiple Western countries. Find research about men's support groups, the conversations happening there. Themes of fear, withdrawal, calculated risk avoidance. They describe every interaction with women as potential threat to their education, career, reputation. Describe running cost-benefit analyses on simple human interactions. One study includes quotes from interviews with men who've completely stopped dating. 26-year-old says he went on 3 dates in past 2 years, all disasters. Not because of incompatibility, but because he was so anxious about saying the wrong thing that he could barely speak. Another one, 22, describes liking a classmate but never acting on it. His reasoning, even if she's interested, the risk of misreading signals and making her uncomfortable isn't worth what it might cost him. Talks about it like a math equation. Probability of positive outcome versus magnitude of negative outcome. Negative outcome includes being reported, having reputation destroyed, losing educational opportunities. Math doesn't work out in favor of triumph. Read about college men who won't study with female classmates alone, won't offer to walk anyone to their car, even when it's late, and parking lot is dark, thought that women's safety is paramount. Interpret that as meaning their presence is potential threat to that safety. Logical conclusion is to remove themselves. Start thinking about my own work, my own words. 23 years of teaching about power dynamics, about believing women, about how men need to recognize their capacity to intimidate and harm. All true, all important, all necessary. But what did those words sound like to 18-year-old boys sitting in classrooms? Boys who were trying to be good, who didn't want to be threats, who took the lessons seriously. We told them to be aware of their power and the fear they could inspire. We told them that women's comfort and safety had to come first. We told them that impact matters more than intent. We told them that they needed to listen, not speak over, not assume. We told them about all the ways their predecessors had failed and harmed. What we didn't tell them was how to actually interact after. Internalizing all of that. Didn't give them a framework for positive engagement, just a detailed map of every possible way they could screw up. Boys who were paying attention, who were sensitive, who actually cared about doing right, those boys went silent, withdrew into themselves because that seemed like the safest option for everyone. The ones who didn't listen, who didn't care, they're probably fine. Still approaching women, still taking up space, still confident. We filtered for the worst ones by accident. Made environment where only men who ignore social feedback continue to engage. The thoughtful ones are gone. Sit in my office one afternoon, surrounded by these studies and data sets. Feel something cracking inside my chest. Dedicated my entire adult life to creating better worlds for women, to making spaces safer, to amplifying voices that had been silenced. Believed so deeply in the righteousness of this work. Never meant for any of this. Never wanted boys to grow into men who are afraid of human connection. And it never wanted women to inherit a world where decent men have retreated into protective silence. Never wanted to create new barriers while tearing down old ones. Think about my own son. He's 28 now. Hasn't had serious relationship in 5 years. Told me last Christmas that dating seems too complicated, too risky, easier to just focus on work and hobbies. He laughed when he said it, thought he was just being picky. Now, I wonder what calculations he's running in his head. What did he learn from me? From growing up with mother who taught about consent and power and men's capacity for harm. Think about my nephew, college sophomore. Visited last month, mentioned he sits in back of all his classes now. Doesn't ask questions anymore. Said something about not wanting to be that guy. I asked what guy. He shrugged, said I wouldn't understand. Maybe I'm starting to. Find myself crying at my desk, door locked, lights off. Not delicate tears, full body sobs. This wasn't supposed to happen. We were supposed to create understanding, not fear. Supposed to build connections, not destroy them. Supposed to make things better. Remember conference I attended 3 years ago. Workshop on addressing male resistance in feminist spaces. We strategized about how to handle men who went quiet in discussions. Interpreted silence as hostility, as fragility, as passive aggression. What if it wasn't resistance? What if it was retreat? What if they were doing exactly what we asked? Making space, not dominating conversation. Listening instead of talking. And we interpreted their compliance as defiance. Keep researching. Can't stop now. Find data on workplace mentorship. Senior men increasingly refuse to mentor junior women. Cite concerns about perception, about time alone, about misunderstandings. We fought so hard for women to have access to mentorship and advancement. Now, watching it slip away as men choose protection over support. One survey of male executives, they show 73% now uncomfortable with one-on-one meetings with junior female employees. They're not monsters. They're not discriminating out of hatred. They're terrified. Did cost-benefit analysis and decided their careers and reputations aren't worth the risk. Exactly what we taught them to do. Assess risk and respect boundaries. But application creates new form of exclusion. Women can't advance without mentorship and sponsorship. Men won't provide it anymore because environment we created makes it too dangerous. Everyone loses. Start drafting paper